Yes? No? Not you, George. Who's on first? Go ahead. It's all right. We'll just use the clock. So about 20-ish?
Okay. Right now I'm doing more of a storytelling, so there's going to be a few poems and a few stories mixed together, maybe a fable here and there. You can figure out the morals if you'd like. Day 1. Why not me? Their brown evasive eyes blink quickly several times, throats clear, mouths open, and nothing comes. Then I know. I am not trusted. I am not safe. I am not stable. I am mentally ill. The shiny white kids on shiny dirt bikes slow down but do not stop. I am the witch. Our early morning yard sales are ignored into dusk. I am contagious. I am mentally ill. I feel better. I smile more. I want to be helpful. So I ask, why not me? Their shared silence whispers, you are mentally ill. Who else will they let me be? Away. I stumble from my broken trailer. I let go of home so I won't be sick with it. Homeless, I find other pathologies. Their eyes follow me as my figure disappears. They do not. They grow distant and higher until they are moons and clouds, always out on my horizon, telling me who I am. Freedom of these landless orbs brings me to your overstuffed couch and half-empty tissue boxes. But your brown eyes hold hope that holds me up instead of down. Maybe I may be shameless for a moment in this space. This is called The Making and the Unmaking. I was the trunk of a mighty mahogany tree. We were a forest. We withstood tropical storms, drought, and chaos. We could not withstand man. We fell at his hand. We were stacked and brought in by boat. The persistent waves that first scared and lulled me to strange dreams of adventure and loss of home. I bided my time. I became a fine dust in a cabinet store in Long Island, New York. I connected with the motor spark and combusted inside an exhaust pipe's darkness. Out of this black enclosure, we flew across the shaker kitchen cabinets, over to my brothers and sisters' dark engraved bookcases. We burned it all. We burned ourselves. We became heat, waving goodbye to our wood nature and existence. We left a legacy of ash. We would not return. And this is a little story called The Blue Pearl of Happiness. His mother gave him a blue pearl when he was just a boy. He would sometimes lose and find it again. He never really worried about the loss because he always believed it would turn up. And he would again feel its small dented imperfection and compare its blueness to the darker waters that surrounded their island. He continued to find it again and again until he didn't. His mother died when he was a teenager. He stood before her white and pink coffin, staring at her clasped hands, covering her chest. He remembered her lost blue pearl and began to cry. An island girl he rarely looked at took his hand and gently pressed each of his fingertips with hers, over and over, until he learned how to stop his tears. He looked down at her and realized he loved her. They married on her 18th birthday. She gave him a blue pearl as her dowry and a son. He swore he would never lose it or him, and he never did, until he did. Really, he traded them for a perfect ivory pearl from one of the many island tourists. He thought it more special, he thought it more rare, he thought it more lovely. He began to love this temporary visitor. Her love was as temporal as her stay. He asked her not to leave. She laughed and asked why he loved her so much. He said it was because she had given him a pure pearl whiteness. She laughed again. You silly island boy. I gave you a fake pearl. You gave me a rare blue pearl like it was nothing. You have no idea how to value or love what you already have. Why would I want to be loved by the likes of you? She took his hand and gave him a long rope of white pearls he knew now to be fake. She closed his hand around her false gift and kissed his fist. She laughed at him again and left him in her hotel room on the beachfront. He put the worthless rope around his neck and walked into the ocean. Sometimes the oyster farmers tell little children how they hear his sighs on the warm puffs of night breezes. And this is called Despair's Blooms Stem from My Belief in Us. I let you. You eclipse the sun until you replace her without mimicking her warmth or promoting growth. Swaying to the iambic rhythms of your latest lies, I fall victim to your gravity and charms. Collapsing against steel can open as well as close eyes. When the writer in me stops loving you, the hidden messages go back into hiding. The roses smell chemical, wilt, and die. The part of me that now hates you recognizes you as her dirt-streaked mirror. My illusions of our grandeur fade, thrusting me back into lone obscurity, relishing old movies even more than their dying stars. I, always the one begging to be seen, now see your deceptions and my disappointments. Now your attempts to enclose me in embrace feel like a coffin shutting me in. I blame you for your presence outlasting our myth. This is a mountaintop revival. And here's something for the girls. No one in the close cluster would approach the fast-talking, funny-smelling, dressed for a Sunday morning on a Thursday afternoon coal boss. Finally, one of the mothers accepted the gift and invited him to stay to supper. The children gathered around Mama Grace. What is it? What's it do? Can I see? Mama Grace pulled the brown paper and tie away and showed them the picture book. What is the Cinderella? Give it to Mima, maybe she will read it to you. But Mima says we only read the Bible. Maybe she'll change her mind. The girls were pretty doubtful about Mima ever changing, but they were so set on knowing what a Cinderella was. Mima was still looking for herbs when they came to her cabin porch. I bet Cinderella is a type of candy you get in the city. I think it's a dance you get to do when you're 16 and ready for dancing. The littlest one, who knew very little about the city or dances, but always looked at the holy pictures in her The Children's Guide to Bible Study, stared at the book's cover. She saw a skinny blonde woman with a puffy, shiny blue dress. She cleared her throat, pointed to the cover, and murmured, "Maybe a Cinderella is a lady in a big dress." The others crowded around the cover. One traced the billows of the gown and slowly whistled. Imagine all that fabric for one big old dress. It's prettier than the sky. There's Mima. The girls swarmed her, asking to read Cinderella to them. Mima, always pretty strict, found herself a little swept away by their curiosity and anticipation, so she agreed to read the story. The girls learned about Cinderella. They also, for the first time, understood how much they had to learn. When is once upon a time? What is a stepmother, a stepsister, a magic, a fairy godmother, a glass slipper, a gown, a prince, a ball, and a castle? Happily ever after, they all repeated after the story. Each mulled over the words. Could you only have one of those if you kissed a prince? May I have one? What's it like? The littlest was the first to speak. I don't think you can go salamander catching or tree climbing in a ball gown. Don't you have to wear one of those happily ever all the time? No one knew the answer. No one, not even Mima, knew all the answers arising from such a small book. A vague off-putting feeling took over the girls. Some sat with their knees to their chins and closed their eyes, quietly sniffing. A few wandered from room to room and adult to adult, trying to distract themselves from this new nervousness. One girl hid under her bed. Mima rounded them all up and gave them a mix of soda water and cod liver oil. After she gulped her spoonful, the little girl began to shake. She took Cinderella and threw her in the fireplace. Mima watched the book begin to burn and muttered something about ashes to ashes and dust to dust. The girls crowded around the fire trying to save the book. Why did you do that? We don't need a book like that. You can't feel our ground wearing her glass slippers. The girls stopped trying to rescue the book and looked down at their empty city hands and down further at their soiled bare feet. Wild and free, they clapped and stomped into the night.